Oh, mercy, Percy. What's lunch? How you do, buckaroos? How the heck are you? I'm going to be both Town the Beer and Whiskey Whisper for the purposes of this video. So we're winding down our anniversary trip. We had 5 great days in, well, just south of Columbus, Canal Winchester. The locals just call it Canal. 5 days there at the Brewdog was wonderful. I enjoyed it. Probably bored my wife did. Being a beer geek was perfect for me. But anyways, got to meet an old friend in person. You know some of these folks on Facebook for so long. So I met Steve Reinach and his wife and son. They came out to meet me, so that was nice that they did that. They were great folks. Hit a lot of breweries. I knew I wasn't going to hit them all, so I didn't want to folks kept asking, well, what's your main ones you want to go to? I said, I really don't have any. I'm going to be glad I get to the ones I got to, and that's kind of how it was. Because I didn't want to, I'm not a ticker, right? I've never been a ticker as far as beers go or breweries. I want to enjoy the ones I get to. So I wasn't. There were a few that I went in and had one and moved on, but for the most part, I wanted to sit, relax, and enjoy my surroundings, which is why I didn't really do videos from location either. Because when I get talking to folks, I just want I didn't want to do the video. I just wanted to talk to locals, man, and it was just so enjoyable. So we left Columbia today. We had a stop. I was going to say brief stop, but it wasn't really brief. So our daughter Callista found, I guess online, she heard of a store called Jungle Jim's, just a big grocery store, international grocery. So we went there, and that was about 3 hours. But here's the honest truth: we kind of hurried through a little bit of it. We even missed parts here and there because we were already there for 3 hours, and we needed to get going. Unfortunately, we really hit a bad storm coming through between Cincinnati and Louisville, and there was a lot of wrecks on the road. We got held up about an hour and a half on the highway due to some very bad wrecks on both sides. So by the time we got here, we're at the Bally's in Evansville, Indiana. By the time we got here, we were just bushed. There was a couple breweries in town I kind of wanted to hit, but again, by the time we got here, it was about 3 hours later than we anticipated, due to staying longer at the Jungle Gyms, and then the traffic. It took us a long time to get here. It took about almost 8 hours for a 5.5 hour trip, with the traffic jams and delays and everything else. And there was some parts of the storm was coming down where you couldn't move very fast. So anyways, yeah, like I said, by the time I got here, we were kind of tired. So, and I had reservations for us for dinner about 7, and we got here just in time to get there for those reservations. By the time we got the stuff in the room and got over there, it was nice. We didn't have a big meal, to be honest with you. Usually we split stuff anyway, but we were both so tired. I ended up having a bowl of lobster bisque, and she had the French onion soup. We both got kind of chilled and wet. Getting our bags and stuff up here and the 3 different portions of the day. So I had we just had the soup and brought some bread out. By the time we finished our soup, the bowl of bisque was huge. Lobster bisque, if you ever had lobster bisque, is very rich, and this one was one of the best I've ever had. It was done perfect, just creamy enough, right? And it had just large chunks and a lot of lobster meat in there. It was rather impressive. Wife loved her French onion soup as well. And then they brought us wonderful bread. And then we were gonna order. We usually split a meal, so they had snow crab. We were gonna order the snow crab and split it, but the truth is, after we finished our soups and bread, we were both so full. We just ordered dessert to split, had some coffee, and we were exhausted. So we went onto the gaming floor for a little bit, and I wanted to play some roulette. But there were 3 roulette tables, and all 3 were full, and I could have waited to get on a table, but I just wasn't feeling it. So I went over to the bar on the side where they had a band playing, behind the bar there. Band was called the Breakfast Club, doing a lot of '80s stuff, as you might imagine a band like that. And they were nice. They played a nice mix of stuff and did them relatively faithful. So I took my time and lost about $20 playing video poker, and decided I went found the wife, and she was done too. So anyway, we just got back to the room. She just went to take a shower. I just wanted to have one beer and a little whiskey with you. I know I talked for almost 5.5 minutes and I haven't touched anything yet, but I found this today by accident. So here's what happened. Wife wanted to stop at a truck stop and look for something that we forgot to pick up earlier. So we stopped at a pilot, and turned out there was a distillery about a half mile from there, and I wasn't familiar with them, so we stopped there. They were kind of busy, so and they didn't have a bar per se. They had some formal tastings, and I really don't want to do that. I just grabbed some products to go. So I haven't tasted any of these products, and I'm in a hotel room, so I'm using the plastic cup. So spare the pretentiousness. Spare me. I'm doing what I'm doing. Neely Family Distillery. I picked this up. This is their Kentucky single barrel strength straight bourbon whiskey, distilled and aged in Sparta, Kentucky. I've never heard of these guys before. Like I said, I mean, I would have known they were there had we not got off to get gas right at that particular moment in time. 76% corn, 19% wheat, so that's relatively low percentage of corn. It's a relatively high percentage of wheat, 5% malted barley. Barrel number 615, barrel char 2, barrel size 25 gallon. This is at 109 proof, triple pot distilled, non-chill filtered. And a sweet mash. Aged 49 months. Okay, so we're just a little over 4 years on this one. Let me show that to you. I'm not going to read all the back right now. I'll do a formal video for it later, but I wanted to have just a little taste at this moment in time. Oh wow, those aromas are nice. Spent a little more than I planned to there. It was one of those things. Because I was there, right? You know, so we found this place by accident. I'm just going to grab some products. So this is a 375, and it was about $40. Well, it's a little on the pricey side because it would have been $80 to buy a full bottle. They didn't have it, they only sold them in this particular blend in this size. So I bought this, and they had they called them their I can't remember now, something their not test batches, but something along those lines. And they had a rye as well. I picked up in the same size bottle. Very nice nose. Really feel that wheat balancing that corn. Very soft bourbon. A nice balance of sweetness to barrel and spice. Nice hint of spice. Well, not really hint. Nice burst of spice in the finish. Feel a little black pepper. You might find cinnamon, allspice, but black pepper really came out to me right away. I feel like I get just the slightest notion of orange zest in there. That's nice. I'm gonna set that down. I wanted to bring a couple beers. I didn't want to bring a lot of stuff out because I didn't want to have to truck a lot of stuff down. And I knew I wasn't going to drink more than 2 beers. Quite frankly, I'm probably just going to have the one. But so there was 2 right there. One happened to be a porter. The other happened to be a double IPA. When I grabbed one to pop it, I just took one out of the fridge. So anyway, it turned out that I grabbed the double India Pale Ale from 7th Sun Brewing. Seventh Sun Brewing, Columbus, Ohio. This one is, where did I see that ABV now? 8.2, I think it says there. So, again, it's a plastic cup. Don't unload your pretentiousness on me. I'm in no mood. I'm tired, man. No, I take that back. I'm in a good mood. It's been a very good day. Well, it was a little stressful early on. They were dealing with the storms and the rain and the accidents in the highway. But once we got up to the restaurant, it just kind of melted away. They were so friendly up there, and the food was so good. Wife even had a cocktail. She did. She had a chocolate martini. She's going way out of her wheelhouse. But we were driving, and she really needed something for the nerves. I had their 007 martini, which is a vodka martini, shaken, not stirred. But I was kind of surprised, and they might have had one if I asked for it. They had their specialty cocktails, but they didn't have a Manhattan or an old fashioned on the menu. I was kind of surprised by that. And if I had, if I'd asked, they might have had them. But I just, wanted a before dinner drink, and the martini fits that bill. I like the Manhattan right after the meal's over. Then when I'm relaxed, that's when I like that Manhattan, man. So I had a lot of great beer in Columbus. I didn't actually get to the Seventh Sun Brewery, but I was able to pick up some at a store. Like I said, I knew I wasn't going to get to all the breweries, so I didn't want to set myself up for failure. It's okay, I got to hit this day, that day is now. We were just going to kind of go with the flow. Whatever the day, presented, that's what we were going to do. I wasn't going to actually hit any on Tuesday, and that was the day I hit the most. Hit a lot, man. I got 5 breweries and a distillery in that day. And there was a couple of them there, though, that I just had one and moved on for different reasons. It wasn't that it was bad. It was just the atmosphere wasn't really me. But then I got to Jackie O's and spent a lot of money there. Then I got to Wolf's Ridge, and I had a lot of fun at Wolf's Ridge. And then it was time for dinner at Watershed. Had a great old-fashioned at Watershed. Man, it wasn't playing, man. That that old-fashioned was insane. I bought a lot of their stuff. Well, not a lot. I bought a couple bottles. I got 3 bottles from them to go. I think I got 3 bottles of whiskey and a bottle of Nocino. I wasn't real familiar with Nocino, but I wanted to pick it up since it was from there. So it's a black walnut liqueur. And this one's aged in whiskey barrels. I did a cocktail with this back at the room at the doghouse, where I did 2 ounces of the whiskey with 1 ounce of the Nocino, and that was really nice. Did a dark cherry garnish, if you will. But when I get home, I'm going to augment that drink slightly and do add some black walnut bitters to it. Make it real close to a Manhattan. I'm just going to eliminate the sweet vermouth, just the whiskey, Nocino, and those black walnut bitters, and a garnish. Looking forward to trying that cocktail. Anyway, it goes fast. We'd have never been able to be in one place for 5 days, so it seemed like we could get a lot in, but there were still things we didn't get in. And like I said, I just didn't want to check off boxes. I wanted to just sit and enjoy whatever we got to do. Everything, we've never been there before, so everything we got to do was a bonus. So I didn't want to focus on what we didn't get to do. I just wanted to, be grateful for the things we did get to do. And we did get to do a lot of things. Set us up for this hotel on the way home, Bally's in Evansville. And then we're actually gonna stay about 3 hours from here. It'd be about 6.5 to go all the way to Springfield, but I set us up for a night in St. Louis just so we can kind of ease our way home and kind of ease back into it. I don't have to be back to work until Thursday, so we're gonna take our time. Got we don't have anything planned per se. There's some things we might want to do. St. Louis has been rough for me the couple times that we've been there. I guess we've been there 3 times since we lost Seamus, and it's very triggering for me, especially you go by certain places, and I've tried to work through it. Well, I've tried to get by the last few times. I won't say work through it. I've tried to compensate. And, I've kind of gotten mad when I shouldn't have been because I was mad about something else, or I took my anger out on others because I was triggered by other things. So when I set this one up, I'm thinking I didn't necessarily have any place planned to go, but there's a few places, or at least a couple, I might go as kind of a catharsis, right? To kind of got to work through these issues where St. Louis isn't so triggering for me. One of the places I used to get to when we had a chance when Seamus was out of treatments and we were able to do stuff, is I'd love to go to Nick's Pub there, just on the edge of Dogtown. So I may try to go there. That'd be one of those that it would be kind of hard to walk into because all those memories of that and other things are going to come back. But I almost feel like I have to first, just kind of work through this stuff. So that's kind of the idea. We'll see how it goes. Sometimes plans just don't work out, But like I said, I haven't been to St. Louis in a while. I've been here since 2017, I think. It's been a minute. My wife has been here since, but I haven't. And set that down. I'll pour the rest of that beer in there and we'll work on this whiskey for a minute. I'm doing mostly talking and drinking. That's kind of what I needed to do for this video. It's a wind down video. But I wanted to have some good products to share with you. I love the nose on this. I'm getting a lot of herbal elements on the nose. A lot of toffee. Maybe a little toasted hazelnut in there. I'm really feeling that weed on the nose, I gotta tell you. Remarkably easy to drink at that 109. Will I cocktail it? Well, the truth is probably, only because sometimes you never know till you try. If I cocktail it though, it's going to be an old fashioned or a Manhattan. I would never highball a whiskey of this caliber, but it probably ought to be drank neat. And it's incredible. You get the amount of vanilla that you should get. Picking up a little molasses in there. It's not as sweet as you might expect, and I'm really liking that, to be honest with you. It seems a trend, especially in larger commercial bourbons these days, is to make a very sweet bourbon. This one is not. It is just, wow, it is right up my alley. I love the big oak and spice in the finish. And typically cinnamon jumps out right away, but what I'm noticing first on the palate is the black pepper. Getting the black pepper right at the back. Set that down. We'll work this beer for a minute. And I just realized I was doing a lot of talking. I didn't give me any beer notes. I'm probably not going to try to focus too hard being in a plastic cup, to be honest. But it is very tasty. It is a double IPA. Seventh Son Proliferous double IPA, 8.2, I believe that says. I don't know that there's some other writing on here, but it's hard to tell with that key, and I ain't gonna try to read that nonsense right now. Picking up some citrus, a little bit of tangerine maybe. Maybe some tropical fruit mixed in there as well. Getting mostly citrus though. Tangerine orange specifically. Maybe a hint of grapefruit. But it's really, the tangerine is really what's jumping out at me. Maybe a little mango in there. A nice, easy drinking double that you really don't feel that 8.2%, or you don't taste that 8.2%. Let me say it that way. So tomorrow we're just going to kind of take her easy. We're going to slowly work our way. I'm hoping my body will let me sleep in. It's been waking me up early most of this trip, man. So I'm hoping I can sleep in a little bit. We'll slowly meander into St. Louis, and we'll see what happens there. Like I said, we're kind of playing that by ear. I have a feeling, though, that by the time check-in time's at 4, I figure typically by the time we get to our room, we're just done. Even though sometimes we talk about doing some other things. Usually by the time we get checked in, we don't want to get out again. So that's why I figure, let's try to get everything in we want to do. We'll get to the room, call it a day. All through the trip in Columbus, all through working up to getting there, I was looking at the places. I was looking at the nightlife. Oh, I could check out this, and this. Hell, we were back at Doghouse by 7 o'clock most nights, and I was calling it a night by 10 usually. Yeah, because we were getting an early start. I'm just not a nightlife guy anymore. It sounds nice, but then I don't really want to go out now. I ended up buying tickets to go to the jazz clubs in Indianapolis, and I typically plan on doing stuff like that. But then when the time comes, I don't get back out to buy the ticket. So I bought that ticket in advance to force myself to have to go. Because the truth is, once we got checked into our room, I really didn't want to go out anymore. But I had already purchased the ticket. So now I had to. I had to go. So even though I was kind of tired, once I got there, it was a great time. It's a great jazz club called the Jazz Kitchen in Indianapolis. Had a great run in Indianapolis. Hit a handful of breweries and distilleries. It was a lot of fun there, and I had never been there before, so. Let me finish up this whiskey. I'm going to show you this bottle one last time here. Like I said, we found it by accident. Had we not pulled off to get gas at that moment in time, I'd have never known it was there. But it was only only a half mile from where we were. So it kind of seems silly not to go. Part of me wishes I didn't go because I spent a lot of money there. But hell, I got some products. So anyway, Neely Family Distillery, Kentucky single barrel strength. So it's a single barrel strength straight bourbon whiskey. Once again, the mash is 76% corn, 19% wheat, 5% malted barley. It really is good. I can't wait to get it home to try it in a proper glass to really give it the respect it deserves. But I really wanted some now. Anyway, Sláinte, I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor of wisdom. Oh man, that really is good. That whiskey is damn. Yeah, I really want to get in the glass here. I can really appreciate it. I'm also Tom the Beer Whisperer, beer evangelist, prolific beer drinker, purveyor of wisdom, man. All right, good guys. I'll check in with you tomorrow.